Welcome to the marketing aspect of how to find deals. We teach you everything you need to know, from what makes a good deal, essential tools, resources, marketing strategies, what makes somebody motivated or what makes somebody unmotivated, because you don't want to waste time with people who aren't motivated, because you're just killing your time, killing your day, and you want to only work with motivated leads. So just a quick rundown of what we're going to get into. Again, what makes for a good deal? We're going to talk about, do the numbers work? Is there enough meat on the bone for obviously your buyer and for you to make some profit? We're going to be covering essential tools. There's some tools that we like to use. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. Zillow is especially free, as you can imagine. So we're talking about some door hangers, networking with other wholesalers, all that good jazz. And we're going to talk about additional marketing strategies that you can do to increase the amount of leads that you get, increase your conversions, and increase the amount of deals that you do every single month. So we're going to work from the ground up. So what are some additional ways you can get some leads into your pipeline for free? Social media is a huge one. So utilizing Facebook, utilizing Craigslist, even though it sounds crazy, we live in Connecticut, so we're part of, I think, every single Connecticut investor group on Facebook there is to be a part of. So if you live in Texas, you live in Texas. Texas is a huge state. You're probably not going to cover the entire state of Texas. So say you live in Austin, Texas, you want to join every single Austin, Texas real estate investors group there is to join on Facebook. Facebook is your best friend in terms of finding other wholesalers, finding other deals, JVing with people, the whole 9 yards. You're going to find a lot of stuff in there. You're going to find people who are looking to sell deals. You can go on to tag sale groups, go on to off-market properties, all that kind of jazz. You're going to find a lot of other leads that you wouldn't have thought about finding. Join tag sale groups, because if they're having a tax sale, they might be looking to sell their house. Join estate sale groups. Join free stuff groups, because you'd be surprised the amount of people that you can find just looking to offload a property. And either way, even if you don't find anybody, you're going to build your network, and you can start having a lot more people know who you are, and they're going to start funneling you deals. So social media is a big one. Mailers. So say you have a job, you can afford to spend $200 to $500 a month just spending some money on some marketing materials. Mailers, farming an area every single one to 3 months or every quarter is an exceptional way to get people to know your business. So say you own something called Astra Wholesalers 101. Our company's name is Astra Properties. But say you own something called Astra Wholesalers 101, and you keep mailing the same houses every single quarter. Eventually, people are going to know who you are. They're going to know your brand, and when they are ready to sell, they're going to be reaching out to you, because I guarantee you, they're going to keep your postcard on their fridge, especially if they're older. They're going to keep your postcard on their fridge. They're going to know who you are. So don't sleep on mailers. Driving for dollars, or D for D. Driving for dollars is the best and most cost-effective strategy I could possibly give you. It's remotely free. All you got to do is have a car, or have a bicycle, or anything you could possibly use to drive past the property, take down the address, and then call it using skip tracing via propstream, deal machine, kind skip tracing, data flick, whatever you want to use. We'll dive into some more tools down the line, but you can use anything to skip trace. Driving for dollars will help you target any area that you live in. You can target, say you want to drive 10 new streets a day. Drive 10 streets a day, write down what streets you drove, and see if you find any crappy looking houses on there. If you do, write down the address, put them into a skip trace software, skip trace the address, call them, get their information, and reach out and see if they're looking to sell. So if they have a crappy house, there's a very high chance that they've been called multiple times, but don't let that discourage you, because you might be the one person who's calling them at the right time when they're looking to sell, and you might just get a hold of them, and they might just be willing to sell to you, which is what you want, because you want some leads. So driving for dollars is arguably the most important one on this entire list. Don't mind my crappy star. Last but not least, networking events. Networking events are your best friends. So when we first started, we did a lot of JVs with other wholesalers. JV means joint venture. Work with other people, especially other people that you like and that are in the business with you, especially if they're in your age group, is a great way to either A, acquire deals, or B, have somebody help you dispose the deals that you acquired. So say you're really good at acquiring deals, but you suck finding an end buyer. Great. Find somebody else who's really good at disposing the deal and who has a giant buyers so they can tap to help you close that deal. Or say you're great and you have 1 million buyers, but you can't get a single deal. No sweat. There's somebody out there that has 0 buyers, but has 1 million deals coming into their pipeline. You want to be friends with that person, you want to partner with them, and you want to close some deals together, because I guarantee you, even though you're taking half of a pie, having half a pie is better than having no pieces of pie. So that's my biggest recommendation. So networking events are essential. So moving up from marketing strategies, going into essential tools and resources. I'm gonna start with some of the free tools first. So I'm just gonna run through them real quick. I'll dive into what each of them are in a second. So we got PropStream, Deal Machine, MLS, or multiple listing service if applicable, Zillow, door hangers, and other wholesalers. So these 3 are free. So Zillow is your best friend in terms of finding deals, and it sounds weird, right? So the amount of first sale by owners that we've been able to wholesale this year alone insane. So this is another strategy we do. It's called Novations or Wholesaling 2.0. There's going to be a completely separate course that we cover all of that jazz, which is great. But you'd be surprised the amount of actual legitimate wholesales, like traditional wholesales or wholesale 1.0s that we've been able to close due to Zillow alone, due to sellers having property sit on the market for a long time. Then they won't take a haircut because they can't sell it. They have a lot of sellers to be shot have a very big like fear about paying commissions or spending money on commissions, using a realtor. They don't trust them. But believe it or not, they'll take a $50,000 plus haircut on their property because they don't want to pay a commission. So that's great for you, especially if you have investors who are retail buyers. So say they just want to say somebody's looking for $500 a door, and you get something under contract for 200, but you know it's worth 250, but it doesn't need any work. You can dispo it to an end buyer for 210, and they're still making their cash flow of $500 a door. But they're open to pay closer to retail because that fits their buy box. A lot of people, cash buyers, don't care as long as it fits their buy box, because in 5 to 7 years they can refinance, they can pull out that cash and they can go reinvest it in something else, or they can have a better cash flow, or they'll take the cash flow, reduce it a little bit, and then go buy another property with it. Everybody's business model is different, so you'd be surprised the amount of people you can find on Zillow alone, just on the first sub-owner section, that you can actually wholesale their house. If you guys want a separate video on that or separate tools and tips about how to do that, and we might just make a module teaching you guys how to wholesale using Zillow. Sample door hangers. Basically, if you go on Canva or any site, this actually technically isn't free, but it's very relatively cheap. You can go on Canva and get little door hangers that you make yourself, customized. You can use your templates, put your information in there, put your brand, and if you see a shitty house, go hang it on a door. Or if you see a house that needs a lot of work, go hang it on the door. Somebody will visit that property eventually, and if they see your door hanger, the chances of them going there, especially if it's vacant, if they go there and they see it, they might just give you a call, because they might just want to take a chance and sell that property, see what they can get for it. So door hangers, don't sleep on them; they do work. Or if you see a property that looks like it maybe has a dumpster outside, maybe looks like it's the grass is really overgrown, if it doesn't look that shitty, hang one up there. Maybe someone's getting old. Maybe they're looking to sell it soon. Maybe they don't want to keep up with it anymore. You'd be surprised. Having door hangers is an essential way to get some business. It's worked for us. I think we've closed this year maybe only one deal using door hangers. It sounds weird. It's not the best way to get deals, but it's a very, very cost-effective deal. A very, very cost-effective way to get a deal here and there. We don't do it frequently. We'll have our team go put, if they see a crappy house, we'll have them go put a door hanger on it. But if you're driving for dollars and you see something shitty, put a door hanger on, give them a call. If you don't give them a call, at least have the door hanger. So it's a way to hit it. It's a way to double tap a house very, very cost effectively for basically free. Other wholesalers, kind of like I covered down here. Other wholesalers are your best friend. People do business with people who they like. So if you like somebody, and again, they have a bunch of buyers, but they can't find any deals, and you have a bunch of deals, you can't find any buyers, love it first sight. You guys can work together. It could be a very good partnership, and it could be your way to get your first couple deals closed, get your feet wet, and then so you can reinvest some of that money into more marketing, get yourself some more deals on your own. Because obviously, as you grow, you're going to build your buyers list. You're going to get better at marketing. You're going to get better at your pitch. You're going to get better as a whole, as a business owner, and you're going to do a lot more deals. So, coming over to the paid tools. So on the paid section, we're going to dive first into the MLS. The MLS, the multiple listing service, is only applicable if you're a licensed agent. So if you're not a licensed agent, no worries. You don't need the MLS. But if you are a licensed realtor or you have your real estate license and you have access to the MLS, listen up. This is a pretty cool thing you could do. So say you have a property that you're looking to wholesale. You have under contract, you're looking to wholesale it, but you can't find any buyers. Go on the MLS and search all the recent sales within the past year in your county that you're looking to wholesale, that you have your house under contract, and look at who paid cash. So look at like really crappy houses, like search the price point under $200,000, whatever your market is, whatever like a low point is, and it was mostly purchased by an investor. Go in there and search for less than $200,000 and say Hartford County. I guarantee you the majority of the houses are going to be rehabs. They're going to be stuff that was purchased cash. What you can then do is, if you have the MLS, you can see the agent's information. You can then reach out to them directly via call, text, or email, and see if their buyer might be interested in picking up your property in that county. It's a great, great, great tool if you have your license. If not, no worries at all. We're going to teach you guys how to do it with these two. But if you have your license, it's a really great way to utilize the MLS, because you can then reach out to those agents and see if their buyers might be interested in purchasing that property. Obviously, you can pay their commission. Say it's a flat rate fee of $2,000 just for the referral, $3,000, depending on how much you're making. But it's a great tool to utilize cash buyers in your market, and then it's a great way to build your buyers list. So say you don't have anybody who wants to buy it. No agents have clients that want to buy it, but you know those agents at least have cash buyers. Great. add them to your email list. I guarantee you one day you're going to send an agent email. She's going to send it to her client. She's going to like it. And bam, you're going to get a deal closed because you did some extra legwork and you contacted the agents that have sold properties to other cash buyers. So next up, we got Deal Machine and PropStream. I'm going to cover them both because they're both relatively the same. PropStream is better for desktops. So I'm just going to write that in here. Desktop. So PropStream is better if you're sitting in front of a computer. Deal Machine is better if you're driving for dollars. So I'll dive into that. So Deal Machine is a paid tool. PropStream is a paid tool. We have links at the bottom of this video, and we have links inside of our Discord, so you have access to both of these. You can get a free week trial on both of them. Great, you can't beat it. We love using the tools. I especially love PropStream. I think PropStream is the most powerful tool that's currently on the market, so I definitely recommend it. But Deal Machine is essential if you're on the road because you can literally drive. You can be driving, you open Deal Machine really quick, and you can literally circle the property on Deal Machine and have it added to a list that you can then call when you get home. You'll have all the information right in front of you. So it's a powerful tool. You can't beat it. But PropStream, if you have a desktop, you can narrow down your niche to the T. So you can narrow down, say you're looking for tired landlords, zombie properties, or say you're looking for tired landlords, pre-foreclosures. That means their landlord's tired. They probably have a tenant that's not paying rent. When I say landlord tired, they're most likely older and they haven't done there hasn't been any permits pulled in the property. There hasn't been any major renovations done. We have 2 separate videos on how to use both these platforms, so definitely check them out. We'll link them below. In-depth tutorial about how to use PropStream and in-depth tutorial about how to use Deal Machine on your phone. Check them out. So next up, we're going to be talking about what makes a good deal. And when I say this, do the numbers work and is there enough meat on the bone? You always want to make sure there's enough meat on the bone for you to obviously make enough money on your assignment fee, but also your buyer, because you don't want them to make a deal. You don't want them to buy a deal that's only going to make them $5,000. Plus, nobody's going to buy the deal if it doesn't make them probably $20,000+. I can guarantee it. If you can work with a giant hedge fund buyer and they just want to make $10,000 per deal, they close 20 houses a month. Great, they're going to make $200,000 a month because they're buying small deals like that. But I guarantee you, most investors are going to want to make at least $20,000 to $40,000 per flip. So you want to make sure there's enough meat on the bone. So next up, we're going to cover what makes for a good deal. We're wholesalers. We're not retailers. The only thing I can say on this is, do the numbers work for you and your buyer? Nobody wants to buy a deal that's going to make them $10,000. Nobody wants to flip a house. You might want to make $10,000, but your buyer is not going to want to flip a house, spend like 3 to 4 months flipping a house, and then make $10,000. It's not worth it. They make $3,000 or $2,000 a month. Nobody wants to do that. That's not worth it. Every investor is mostly going to want to see between $20,000 to $40,000 plus on the spread side. So make sure it's worth their time. What makes for a good deal? Are your numbers good enough? Is there enough room for you to make $5,000 and for your investor to make their desired profit margin as well? So you want to keep that in mind. And that's the biggest thing I mean by, is there enough meat on the bone? Your buyer should be the top of your mind. So obviously your seller should too, but for buyers to want to work with you, for buyers to want to buy your deals, you want to make sure that you're the wholesaler that gets them the best possible deals. You don't want to be the guy that doesn't know how to run their numbers, doesn't know how to look at ARV. Don't hesitate about not being able to find an ARV. We're going to make another video about that. The next video you're going to watch is going to tell you how to find ARV and your master level offer. So don't worry, don't hesitate. But if your deals don't make sense, nobody's going to want to work with you. And when you send them a deal, they're not going to want to do business with you because you don't know how to run your numbers. You don't know how to make offers. You offer the seller too much and there's not enough meat on the bone for your buyer. They're not going to want to work with you. So I strongly recommend that you make sure your numbers are good. You get a good enough price for you and your buyer to be happy. So there are wholesalers out there that think that they're God's gift to the planet. They are going to beat you on most deals that you get. So, and I'll tell you why they're going to beat you and how you're going to still get the deal in the end. A lot of wholesalers are going to make offers that are at the seller's asking price or significantly higher than where they need to be because they think that they're going to find a buyer to buy it because they inflated the ARV of the property. Say the property is worth $450 and you get a wholesaler telling their buyer that it's worth $520, no one's going to buy that deal. That wholesaler is not going to stay in the game for a long time. But for the time being, they offered the seller $350, saying it only needed $50 and needs $100 and it's worth $500, but that's actually worth $450. It's the math doesn't math. So those wholesalers do not stay in the business. The amount of deals that we have lost for a week or two, and then we followed up with the seller again. They say, no, that person backed out. I was actually going to reach out to you. You're on top of my list. I was going to reach out to you soon. You'd be surprised the amount of people who have reached back out to us or we've reached out to that had deals fall apart because wholesalers make bad offers. For example, there was one we recently just lost. I'm smiling because I see Buddy behind me, camera, laughing about this deal too. There was a deal that we recently lost because we knew the ARV of the property was $450. We saw this. This is it. This is a real example. We saw the property being marketed for 300 and it needs 130. Do the math. The ARV is 450, and they were saying the ARV on it was 490. So that means someone would have made 70 tops, but after your holding costs more like 40, 50 cap. We are keeping that seller in our pipeline because I guarantee you that person is not going to close because that deal is not worth that much money. We knew what it needed, so we were going to flip it ourselves. It was a pretty good deal. There was enough meat on the bone for it to make sense for us because the ARV was 450, but it needed significantly more than they said. The ARV was nowhere near where they said it was, and it's frustrating because we know this person. So I'm not going to get into it, but it's interesting to see. So you're going to meet a lot of people like that. They won't be in the business for long. Last but not least, what makes someone motivated versus what makes them unmotivated. So when I say motivated, you got to find the three things. You got to find pain point, reason, and emotional state. People are emotional, right? So if there's something going on in their life, such as a divorce, they're going to want to sell it because they're going to want to sell it fast because they just want to most likely get out of their divorce, they hate their husband, they hate their wife, they want to close quick, they want to close in 2 weeks, great. You can find somebody, but they're most likely to be willing to take a discounted price because they just want to be done with the property. Foreclosures. They lost their job. They're losing everything. Their family's in shambles. They need to close ASAP because they don't want to be foreclosed. They don't want their credit to be ruined. They don't want their lives to literally be ruined. They're emotional. They're being foreclosed. They're going to want to sell it ASAP. Probate or inherited. Grandpa or like someone's father or mother, someone died and they inherited a house, right? They're emotional. They probably grew up there. They're probably in their 30s, 40s. They probably grew up there. They don't want to even think about that house ever again. They don't want to go in the house ever again. They just want to sell it, be done with it. They don't want to deal with realtors. They don't want to deal with walkthroughs. Probates are an investor's best friend. Really sad to say. Really sad. Really sad to say. Not the best thing to think about, but it's true. It's a really good business model. A lot of investors only buy probate deals because more than 9 out of 10 times they don't want to deal with the house anymore. So Stacy's mom passed. She just doesn't want to deal with the property anymore. She grew up there. She doesn't even want to think about it anymore. She's going to sell to a cash buyer, get it done quick out of her hair for a discount because she doesn't even want to think about the property. And the last thing but not least, someone's broke, they need money ASAP, and they have $50,000 worth of equity in their house because they paid it down over time. If they lost their job or something happened immediately, they need to pay for someone's surgery. They need money. She's going to sell ASAP, and that's where an investor is your best friend because they will buy it, most likely do nothing, turn it around, sell it because it doesn't need a lot of work. They just need the money ASAP. So people's emotions are hands down the most important thing in a deal. When emotions take over, people's brain, the fog, it gets thicker. The way I like to describe it is when someone's in pain, they're driven by a very strong reason, and due to their emotional state, they want to get out of that situation as fast as possible because they hate feeling sad, depressed, however they feel, angry, whatever. They want to get out of that as soon as possible because nobody likes feeling like that. And that is an investor's best friend because you provide the solution that they need, which is to get out of the situation as soon as physically possible. So just remember that. These are motivated factors. These are how you know you're not wasting time. If somebody expresses even the smallest pain point, the more you tap at that, the more you hit your hammer and nail, you're slowly breaking open that armor. People are going to start to pour out their emotions to you, and when they do that, that is going to make you the most possible money because then they're going to give you the reason, they're going to give you their actual like deep reason, and they're going to become emotional, and eventually you're going to get them exactly where you want them. Sad to say, because you're not taking advantage of people's emotion, but at the end of the day, they want to get out of the situation as soon as they possibly can. So your entire thing is to help them get out of that situation as fast as they possibly can. So unmotivated. So you get on the phone with somebody, they're just like, oh, I'm interested in maybe looking to sell my house someday. They're not motivated. There's, oh, maybe call me in 6 months. They're 6 months out. Okay, put them in CRM, the customer relationship manager. Follow up with them in 6 months. They're looking to sell. They're not a motivated lead, but they might be motivated down the line. So if they say, I might be looking to sell, I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure out my situation. Okay, no sweat. I'll call you in 6 months. Call them in 4. Because if they say 6 months out, call them sooner because I guarantee you something's going to change in their life and they're going to want to probably sell it sooner and somebody else is going to call that lead too. So just stay top of mind, follow up with them every couple months if you can or if you want to, or call them in that 4-month mark so they remember who you are and that situation might have changed and they might be looking to sell. So, and no pain or reason. So if there's no pain or reason and they're just fucking around with you on the phone, dragging you along, saying they want stupid numbers for the property, don't try and waste your time cold calling and trying to get them down over the phone. If they say that they want $500,000 for the house worth $200,000, and they're like, yeah, I'll only sell if I get $500,000. You're like, well, let me see what I can do for you. Let me see the best offer I can make. Don't do that. They're not going to sell to you. They're a waste of time. They don't want to sell. Don't do that. Don't waste your time on that. Only spend time on the ones that are truly motivated with a pain point, with reason, and they're in an emotional enough state to want to sell. So that's it for this module. If you have, I know there was a lot that I covered. If you have any questions at all, hit up the chat. Let us know. We'll happily answer them. Hit up the Q&A section. There are videos of how to use PropStream and Deal Machine to pull lists. The next module that we cover, we're going to teach you guys how to calculate ARV, after repair value, and how to calculate MAO, which is your maximum allowable offer. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you there.